I started a new MLB Road to the Show, but I can only upgrade power. Randy Trout grew up in a small town in Louisiana, and after flying relatively under the radar in high school, he committed to Wake Forest, where he would spend the next 4 years. During his time in college, Randy would show off his raw power as a 4-year starter, proving that he was an MLB caliber player. He declared for the draft as a senior, but the scouts were rightfully a bit nervous, as power was his only tool. Thankfully, on draft night, it wouldn't take long for Randy's name to be called, getting selected in the 3rd round by the Cincinnati Reds. This was an exciting opportunity for Randy, as first base was wide open, but he would need to compete against several great prospects. Trout was on a mission to prove his doubters wrong, and after taking some time to adapt to Double-A, he gradually gained some more confidence. Just 2 months into his minor league career, Randy had gone from an afterthought to the most dangerous player in Double-A. He was hitting home runs left, right, and center, quickly earning a call up to Triple-A, where he did not last long. He proved he did not belong in the minors, getting called up to the major leagues at the All-Star break. After initially struggling, Trout began to gain more confidence in the majors. He had gotten off to a slow start, but did hit 6 home runs and 34 RBIs in just 61 games. The future is bright for Randy Trout, but it feels like we didn't see his full potential in his partial year with the Reds. However, going into his first full season in Cincy at 22 years old, there's more pressure than ever to get this team to the playoffs. We are entering spring training of Trout's 23-year-old season, where the starting job is not guaranteed. While he flashed in his first stint with the Reds, winning August Rookie of the Month, he is competing against fellow 23-year-old Sal Stewart. Just like Randy, Sal is a highly regarded prospect who's also more well-rounded, and while Trout has the power advantage, he only hit 6 home runs in his first season. He is playing his first spring training game with Cincinnati, stealing his second base of the day, but now in the top of the 6th, he has the bases loaded. With a dynamic challenge, he can turn a good day into a great day, launching this one 466 feet for the Grand Slam. Get out the rye bread and the mustard, it is Grand Salami time. That was Randy's first professional Grand Slam, giving the Reds the win. That performance alone might be enough to secure him the starting job, as a few games into spring training, he is playing way better than Stewart. The battle to be the Reds' starting first baseman continues, as Trout is making amazing contact. So far, he is batting .440 in the spring, but also needs to make some plays out in the field. After a double play, he has a dynamic challenge in the top of the 9th, and to complete it, he needs to drive in a run. With Milwaukee leading 3-1 though, he has different ideas, going deep into left center field and tying the game. That is another clutch home run from Randy Trout, proving that he can be a high leverage player. After struggling to leave the yard in his rookie year, Trout already has 2 home runs in spring training, and now he's looking to make a play on defense. With the game slowing down, he will make the relay home in time. That was a great start to the game, as he's facing a challenge, but he needs a double off Ohtani, who hits him in the shoulder. Japanese Babe Ruth wanted nothing to do with one of the best young players in baseball, as he singles at 101 miles an hour. The Dodgers are leading by 5 runs in the bottom of the 6th, but with Randy Trout doing things like this, Cincinnati cannot complain, giving Cincinnati fans plenty of reasons to be excited about their young star. Trout has done it all today, making great plays on defense, hitting a dinger, and now stealing a base. Add on a pair of singles and a walk, and this was one of his best games yet. That performance earns him another 5 tokens, so we currently have 120 that I will spend before the start of the year. As we simulate the rest of spring training, I just want to thank you guys for the support on the first video of the series. If you want to see Randy's entire career, let's get this to 1,000 likes, just so I know you're still interested. Simulating the rest of spring though, he ended off on a major cold streak, only putting up 4 home runs and 18 RBIs total. I am really hoping the RBIs were enough, as Sal Stewart had 5 home runs and 6 RBIs. We are starting the season finding out if Randy's the starter, and it seems that he is. Despite the cold streak, he will begin the year batting 3rd, with Sal Stewart batting 7th. Before we start the season, we are selecting several goals, which is a new feature in MLB The Show 26. As a slugger though, we are setting all of the power and extra base hit related goals, and if we complete them, we will earn a lot of tokens and increase our Hall of Fame score. My 69 overall first baseman's entering his first full year with Cincinnati, and opening day is off to a rocky start as he grounds to first base and now fails to turn a double play. Minnesota takes a 1-0 lead as Trout grounds out for the second time, so just like a guy that's getting a little older, he needs to find a way to get it up. He goes hitless on opening day in a Cincinnati loss, so that was not an inspiring start, but immediately in his next game, he does single to get runners at the corners. It is so nice hitting after Ellie De La Cruz in the lineup, because even though the game gave him 85 speed, speed, he's one of the fastest players in baseball, which should give Randy some more RBIs. I guess he was just nervous on opening day because he is now 3 for 3, but he's still waiting on his first extra base hit of the season. That is absolutely crushed to dead center field, going to the upper deck for a dinger. What a bounce back game for Randy, hitting 3 singles and now a home run. Even though the Reds lost, that was a great game for Trout, hitting a dinger and securing 3 RBIs. He earned 5 tokens from that performance, and we are cashing in all 139 of them. He boosted both of his power ratings by 3, but the Reds are 0-3 going into this game against the Yankees, where Trout starts off with a line drive home run. It is only the 4th game of the season, but he already has 2 nukes. At only 23 years old, Trout is trying to become an all-star, but in order to do that, he needs to perform well in every aspect of the game, which might be his problem. Power is the only stat that we're allowed to improve, and while it's working out for him so far, his lack of balance could become an issue throughout the season. Our first baseman is off to a fantastic start to the year, but Cincinnati is 0-6. He singled to start off the series against the Tigers and now takes off for second, sliding in safely. That is always a risk due to Trout's 40 speed rating, as he makes good contact on a flyout, and the Tigers would make this a 1-run game. After walking to get aboard though, the offense took care of business, giving us a 6-2 lead that Trout will add to. His 3rd home run of the year is a 2-run shot, scoring him and Ellie De La Cruz. Those two could be a dynamic duo for a very long time as the Reds get their first win of the year. It was a big day for Randy, going 2 for 4 with a home run, a single, and a walk. In this episode, we're gonna see if we can get his power to 99 and win an MVP, and I was not planning on that happening this year, but with the way that he's playing, it's definitely a possibility. My first baseman can make an all-star game, and after starting this game with a walk, Basayo is challenging this, and that is strike 3. Trout had won so many of his challenges, so now it seems like he's off his game, but down by 2 runs, his team needs him. With runners at the corners, he pops up behind the plate, continuing his worst game of the season so far as he goes the other way, but just pushes it a bit too far. Going yard would have been great redemption as there's strike 3, but we're challenging that. That was clearly off the plate and will be overturned. Randy stays alive, but now flies out deep into right center field as the Reds secure another loss. Just like we saw in the spring, it feels like Randy's cooling off after a very hot start, and with the power upgrades getting more expensive, he needs to keep playing well to earn more tokens. On the bright side, he's up to 70 overall, and once his power ratings hit 99, we can start investing in other stats. Despite our performance, the Reds are 3-9, and starting out the series against the Phillies, we're trying to make a relay throw in time at home plate. Randy does not have a strong arm, but he put everything into that one to save a run. Philly is leading 3-1 in the bottom of the 5th, so Philly needs their young slugger to start a rally. That is not very good contact, but still gets through. After a base hit, the train is leaving the station. Randy shows off the 40 speed rating, just barely getting in there. Now in the bottom of the 9th though, we have a chance to walk this off. It has been a quiet day for Randy Trout, but with the game on the line, he watches that one go deep into right center field, leaving the yard at 4-6-7. That is the biggest moment of Randy's MLB career, and his entire team is waiting for him at home plate. We would win our first series of the year, and now against the Rays, Randy turns on one, watching it go foul. He was so close to hitting a dinger and possibly starting a rally, although here's a double into left center. We are back to losing after beating a very respectable Philadelphia team, but Randy's still here to put on a show. That is dinger number 5 on the season to dead center field. He is closing in on 6 dingers less than a month into the year. Now in the 7th inning, he's facing a true challenge. Matt Waldron throws a knuckleball, which we have not seen before, so Trout would strand runners at the corners as the Rays dominated. On the bright side, he was 2 for 4 with a double and a home run, and considering that he's leading his team in every offensive stat and has a 1. OPS, I think it's fair to say that Randy is here. We are fighting to stay out of last place, but now we're going up against the Atlanta Braves, who have the best record in the National League. They are 14-5 on the year, and facing a dynamic challenge, Cincinnati is counting on Randy a little extra, and again, he is going to center field. That is home run number 6 on the year, matching his total from 61 games last year. However, instead of sparking our offense, Atlanta scored 4 unanswered, and Randy is doing it again. That is another dead center shot. He is sending these nukes to the fountain, and I guess it makes sense considering he's on fire. He has kept Cincinnati in this game all by himself, myself, but I'm curious about one thing. I can recall so many times when prospects have burst onto the scene only to lose their momentum, and considering that Randy's a one-dimensional player, I'm curious if he can sustain this going into left center field for home run number 3. That is the first hat trick of his career. He has tied this game against Atlanta, sending us to extra innings, and with 2 runners on base, he's looking for one more big play, dropping this into left field to score the go-ahead run. It has been an unbelievable day for Randy Trout, who has scored most of Cincinnati's runs, but in the bottom of the 11th, Atlanta's trying to tie it right back up. Here's the relay throw in time. That prevents a run, but unfortunately, our bullpen is a disaster as Cincinnati still loses the game despite a superhero performance. They would lose 8-7, but Trout was responsible for 5 of their runs. That is disappointing, but the performance does earn him 10 tokens, so he at least got something for that as Atlanta would win the series. Simming to the end of the month, the Reds are up to 3rd place in their division, and while we lost the Atlanta game, it became very clear that Randy Trout is a huge reason for that. He is leading the team in every single major offensive stat and still has a 1,048 OPS. Now, the Reds roster is pretty underdeveloped, but I will say that there's a lot of young studs that I'm really excited about. Between guys like Elly De La Cruz, Sal Stewart, and Noelvi Marte, there are so many players on this team who are all going to keep growing right alongside Randy Trout. We could not have gone to a better team as now we're taking on the Giants. There are 2 runners aboard for Randy, who swings at a bad pitch but still drives in the first run of the game. Given his low contact and vision, we can not get away with swinging at pitches like that, as there are even times when he puts his barrel right on the ball and it turns into a double play. It is 5-4 in the bottom of the 8th, but Randy is hitless on the day, and facing a dynamic challenge, he will change that with a double into the gap. He completes the challenge, driving in 2 runs, helping Cincinnati beat a very good Giants team. It is only the start of May, but Randy Trout is already 1 home run away from his season goal, and every goal that he completes will give him 25 tokens. That will come in handy as every power upgrade moving forward will cost 36 tokens. Our power hitting first baseman is 1 away from reaching double digits, but after starting the year so dominant, it's been over a week since his last dinger. Now, to be fair, he did hit 3 dingers in a game, so he can afford some time off, but down by 2, Cincinnati needs him to deliver, and that is not it. Randy Trout went hitless in a 4-0 loss, and according to his player card, he is officially in a slump along with Elly De La Cruz. Those 2 players have been the heartbeat of this team as Randy continues to pop up, so now he really needs to complete this challenge. Thankfully, Cincinnati is leading by 3 as a wild pitch will advance both runners to 2nd and 3rd, so this will be a lot easier of a time, but that's a chopper going straight to 3rd base. Now I'm a little nervous as that was the type of pitch that Randy crushed early on in the year. Just like that, the moment I open my mouth, he goes deep for the 10th time. It has been a big day for this entire Cincinnati offense as they're leading by 14 runs and a sac fly from Randy makes it 15. After getting shut out, they take out all their frustration on a division rival and they would win this series 2-1. One thing that I didn't even think of is with the stats that Randy has early on in the year, he could be in the MVP race. While his OPS has dropped below 950, he does have plenty of RBIs to make up for it, so I'm very curious to see if he's in the race, and so far he is not. Now, to be fair, Shohei Ohtani is having an absolutely insane season, so even if he was a finalist, I don't think he would be on that level, but Trout is having a very similar season to Ian Happ and James Wood. That makes me believe that he is right outside the running, especially as the first base leader in Silver Slugger. It has been a monumental year for the first baseman, who is also leading in All-Star voting. We are out of our cold streak going into a series against Boston where this one goes past the diving right fielder to score a run and get Randy to 2nd base. We would strike first against the Red Sox and take a 4-0 lead, and facing a dynamic challenge, the right fielder gets his revenge. I have no idea where this offense is coming from, but we're leading 7-1 in the 6th, and just because we have a big lead, we are taking off for 2nd base as Randy hustles in there. It has been a big day for Cincinnati, but it is not over, as with a 10-1 lead, Randy launches a no-doubter into left field for the icing on the cake. That is home run number 11 as he gets to trot around the bases yet again. We dominated the Red Sox as Randy went 3 for 5 with a home run, 2 RBIs, and a single. After starting as one of the worst teams in baseball, Cincinnati is only 5 games under 500, but they are entering their toughest challenge of the season against prime Shohei Ohtani. This series will be a huge test, so before we get there, we are upgrading both of Randy's powers to 90. We are starting the most important series of the year with a boss challenge against none other than Shohei Ohtani. To beat the challenge, we need a double, but that will be easier said than done as we swing at a high fastball. The intimidating presence of Shohei Ohtani forces us into a mistake, but at least we turn this double play. It is still 0-0, and right after failing the last challenge, the game is giving us another. We are going for the same reward. This time, let's stay patient at the plate. That is popped up right behind Will Smith, who makes an easy play. We have now been embarrassed twice by Ohtani, and the game says, why not a third time? I don't think I have ever seen 3 boss challenges in a row, and with a 2-1 lead, our team needs us. That is hit pretty well into right field, but won't drop. Despite going 0-4 on the day, Cincinnati gets a 2-1 victory. Going deep off Ohtani would have been insane, but Yamamoto would also be a flex. Trout would fly out, but his team got a 4-1 lead without him, and now he's gonna help them out, going deep off of Ben Kasparius. The Dodgers would rally back, making this a 1-run game, although Trout is not done, hitting an RBI single 116 off the bat. That would pull us ahead, but simming to the bottom of the 9th, we are all tied up. Despite getting on base though, the Dodgers always find a way as they win 8-7. It was a great day for Trout, going 3 for 6 with a dinger and 2 RBIs, but he was not enough to get that win for the team, bringing the series down to Game 3. After hustling out a single, the Reds are leading 1-0, but the toughest part about the Dodgers is their rotation. They have so many star pitchers, which is definitely a young player like Trout's worst nightmare. However, in the end, Cincinnati's offense really came to play in this series, winning game number 3 8-2 and taking the series. After starting out dead last in their division, they are now just 2 games behind the Cubs, and if they continue improving, I don't think it's out of the question that they catch Milwaukee. Randy Trout has been their not-so-secret weapon, and after a dinger in that series, he is in 3rd place for the MVP. He is leading his team in every offensive category by a pretty wide margin, and is also hitting .337 as a power-only player. There's a lot to be excited about for Cincinnati fans, as Trout is on pace to shatter his goals, and while the numbers for the rest of our lineup are not looking the best, he's starting to get a little more support. Our 23-year-old first baseman's in the MVP race for the first time of his career, but he is struggling in this series against Kansas City. With the Reds trying to get back to 500, they cannot afford to take losses like that, but now against the Cardinals, Randy has a dynamic challenge. To complete this, he needs his first RBI in several games, as he's challenging that call, winning it as it is off the plate. Trout has had the eye of the tiger with the new ABS system, and now he goes deep for a 3-run nuke, certainly completing the challenge. He scores the only run of the game for either side and takes a back shot, but despite loading the bases with a 3-0 lead, the Cardinals make it 4-3. We continue to see that Trout's performance alone is not enough to win games, as after beating the Dodgers, they lose 2 series in a row to the Royals and the Cardinals. That will drop us to 4th in our division as the Pirates overtake us, but Randy is still in 3rd place for the MVP. We are looking to bounce back against one of the worst teams in baseball, going 105 off the bat for a deep flyout. After that though, Colorado would take a 2-0 lead, so it seems we can't even beat them right now. It really felt like Cincinnati was turning things around, but apparently not if they're losing to teams like this, as Trout makes this a 3-1 game and is now trying to make a good play at first base, can't secure it, but does recover. His 40 fielding was on full display, but thankfully the Rockies did not score, although Trout strikes out. That is an embarrassing loss and overall performance from the Reds and their MVP finalist Randy Trout. They have now lost 3 series in a row, going into a matchup against one of their biggest rivals. There is a lot on the line in this series, as the Pirates are in 3rd place, right in front of Cincinnati, and Trout starts out this game making a relay throw. That was a heads-up play, but the Pirates are leading by 2 runs, but in the bottom of the 4th, Randy's bat needs to wake up as he flies out into left field. The Pirates would extend their lead as he's facing a challenge, but with nobody on, there's not really any stakes here as he grounds to short. It has been a rough day for Cincinnati's very streaky offense, as after we saw them dominate the Dodgers pitching, they only have 1 hit against the Pirates. They would lose their 4th series in a row, and now they're facing the Rangers, who have pretty much their entire lineup on a hot streak. And after a Trout single, we are tied up at 2 apiece as he sneaks another one through the infield. Now, considering that his power ratings are 89, we want to do a little bit better than singles, as Trout is fighting to stay relevant in the MVP race, hitting this one deep into center field, but flies out to the warning track. He made good contact, and it's very rare that he flies out at the track, so we lose our 3rd series in a row, and Trout has fallen out of the MVP race. And while he's still in 1st place for the Silver Slugger, he has certainly slowed down right along with his team. We need to make a change, but with these power upgrades becoming more expensive, live, we're gonna have to figure it out on the field. We have not been hitting for extra bases, and our hitting coach is letting us know it, and we all knew that Randy's first month was not sustainable, but I was not expecting the fall off to be this hard. It has been several series since our power hitting first baseman went for extra bases, as he starts out the game with a single, but the Padres are leading by 7 runs. This Cincinnati team is looking nothing like the squad that beat the Dodgers, as they have lost 5 series in a row, and despite his elite power ratings with 91 in each stat, Randy is hitting the ball like Luis Ariz. The Reds would lose by 7 runs in a performance where Randy had 3 singles. As far as our goals go, we failed a lot of the monthly ones, but still are on great pace for the season goals. We are on a cold streak, but are still leading our team in most major categories, and with power in the low 90s, there's no excuse to not be hitting for extra bases. We are down 2-0 against the Diamondbacks, facing a challenge, and in order to complete it, we need a double, but why not do a little bit better than that? Randy goes deep for the first time in a while, completing a dynamic challenge and getting himself some more tokens. He took advantage of a great pitch to hit, but Cincinnati still lost the game, so I'm starting to think they might not get any better. The biggest addition that our team made was bringing in 39-year-old Aroldis Chapman, who's already down to 81 overall. We are starting a new series against the Cubs with a boss challenge, and while we just saw him go deep, I feel like it's been a while since he's doubled as he goes into right center field, and that carries over the wall. That is home run number 15 for Randy Trout, who has officially completed his season RBI goal, driving in 50 runs. He is now on pace for over 100 in his first year, as Randy in the top of the 9th is trying to give the Reds the lead over the first place Cubs. That would finally lead to a Reds victory, as we have not seen them win many of the games we've jumped into, but that would be their only win of the series. At the beginning of July, we have lost 8 games in a row and are dangerously close to getting back into last place. Despite hitting a bit of a slump, Trout is still playing pretty well all things considered, although the power has noticeably gone down. That does not make a lot of sense considering that his ratings are now up to 92. Our first baseman is now 72 overall, with every single point going into power, but if he wants to get back into the MVP race, then he needs to start hitting more dingers. He is currently in a bigger dry spell than a divorced dad, but with 2 runners on, he's able to drive this the opposite way to score a run. After losing 9 games in a row, Cincinnati's offense finally woke up, and they would win that series right in time for a division matchup against the 3rd place Pirates. Cincinnati is leading 4-3 in the top of the 5th, where Trout adds another single, and with elite power and 40 contact, he seems to be a home runner single type of player. He does not hit nearly enough doubles, as this one is pulled into right field, watching it go, drifting outside the foul pole. That was nearly his 16th home run, but now in the top of the 10th, his team needs him. With De La Cruz on second, a single would be enough, but he grounds straight to short, but he's getting a second chance in the 11th. With the 1-run lead, Randy can put this game on ice, as that is turned on into right field, going off the wall for an RBI. It is 7-5, and the Reds take the first game of the series. Trout hit 3 singles, but they did make a difference, and simming the rest of this 4-game series, we would win 3 out of 4. That will bring our record to 39-54, which is certainly not great, but we're starting to heat up right before the break. With 3 games to go before the break, Trout will likely place second in All-Star voting, behind Rafael Devers. He was in first for much of the year, but the recent decline in power has been extremely concerning, as he has not hit a home run in several weeks. We are trying to lock down our first All-Star appearance of our career at 23 years old, but our final series before the break is against the first place Brewers. After starting out with a single, we need an RBI, and that is an unlucky double play. Randy gets robbed, but now in a tie game in the top of the 5th, he goes deep for the first time in quite a while. That could very well secure his spot in the All-Star game if he wasn't already there already. It definitely felt good to put his wood right on the sweet spot and drive it deep, but now it seems he's getting a little too excited. However, we are tied up in the top of the 8th, but after a walk, we are taking a big risk with Randy taking off for second, where he is in there safely. Now it is up to our team to drive us in, as Marte lets us tag up, getting Randy to third, where a ground out will end the inning. That would turn into another loss for Cincinnati, as Trout would keep them in the game, but ultimately it didn't matter. They would sweep us in 3 games, sending us into the break with absolutely no confidence. Thankfully though, Randy did make the All-Star game, and very likely due to that home run, he was able to pass up Rafael Devers. Now I'm not sure if I agree with that, as Devers' average is a lot better and he has more home runs, but for the sake of the story, I will absolutely take it. It was a fun week for Randy, getting to hang out with some of baseball's premier players, but of course, he's trying to go deep, fouling that one off at 112. He is 0 for 2 on the day, but is now challenging this call, which he will win. He has been one of baseball's best challenge winners, and that will directly turn into his first hit of the ASG. Trout doubles in the bottom of the 7th. That would spark a major rally for the National League as they are leading 10-1. After a year of playing on the Reds, it's gotta be such a sigh of relief for Randy to play on a team like this, as him and Ellie De La Cruz both represented a Reds team that quite frankly does not deserve them. Randy's power ratings are both up to 93, and my goal is to get them to 99 by the end of the year, and that is very possible as we're extremely close to our season goals. Now, one thing that I've noticed with Road to the Show is unless I'm actually playing, Randy does not hit any home runs. So I don't really know what's going on, but I think that might be the biggest reason for our dry spell, as I am simming a lot of games, and we're barely in the team lead for home runs with Sal Stewart at 13. Additionally, Randy is down to B potential, which I really don't understand because he was an all-star. Thankfully though, we are closing in on several of our goals, so I'm interested to see how the rest of the season plays out. It is our first game coming out of the break, and we're taking on the Atlanta Braves. Just like in simulation though, it feels like the extra base hits have been extremely rare despite having 93 power. We can make up for that by stealing a base, which we've weirdly done a lot of in our first full season. We now have 17 steals, which if you're keeping track, that is more than our home runs, so maybe we can be a 20-20 player. Now in the bottom of the 8th though, we're facing a challenge, down 1 with a man on second. We are 2 for 3 on the day, and with a full count, here's the sinker, we swing and miss. That was a beautiful play as we would go to extra innings where we're facing another challenge down by 2. I would be grateful if they gave me something to hit, but with another full count, we draw a walk. The game is now in the hands of the simulation, and advancing to the end, we lose 5-3. That was a 2 single and 1 steal performance for Randy, but of course, no RBIs. That'll get by the left fielder and drive in a run with a double. That is RBI double number 2 on the year for Randy Trout, and you already know that we're stealing third base. I get a bit of a bad jump. Going in there, the throw comes in a little high. That is an RBI double and his 18th stolen base on the year, as now he's facing a dynamic challenge with a man on second and the Reds up by 2. All he has to do to complete this is drive in another run. That is 99 off the bat, but lifted a little too high, flying out deep. That is another play where it feels like his lack of contact really showed up, as he could have driven that a little bit deeper, and the Marlins are able to tie the game. We gotta make the relay throw to second. And unlike our offense, the Marlins could actually capitalize, but here is Randy going deep for a no-doubter and his first dinger out of the break. That was a 2-run shot to give him his 3rd RBI of the day, and that one went 454 feet. We would take the lead at least until the 7th when the Marlins go up 7-5, and facing a challenge, Randy needs another double but settles for a walk. Now unfortunately in the 9th inning, it is 13-5 Marlins as their offense exploded all over us. All things considered though, it's been a really nice day for Randy, who of course hit the 2-run homer but also doubles for the 2nd time. Just like always though, his efforts were completely for nothing, although it feels like he's back on a hot streak. With 62 games left in the season, we are very close to completing our season goals already, and I wouldn't be surprised if we also completed these monthly ones. Another one of my goals though is of course to get our power up to 99 before the end of the year, but every upgrade after this will cost 45 tokens. We have fortunately done a lot better than I expected so far, only upgrading our power, but now in our next game against the Diamondbacks, we are facing a boss challenge. Now I wouldn't exactly call 73 overall Merrill Kelly a boss, but we still are unable to complete this. Thankfully though, we're getting a second chance later on, as apparently Merrill Kelly is just an absolute beast this year. In the bottom of the 3rd, we're going for another double. This is a big moment for Randy, with his team trailing 3-0, and this time he's not gonna waste the opportunity. That is a 3-run nuke for his 18th dinger of the year, and it could not have come at a better time. Apparently 3rd time's a charm though, because right after clapping him, we are getting another shot at a boss challenge. Just for fun, we're gonna literally shoot for the moon on this one, going for another dinger. Attempting this is very high risk, high reward, and unfortunately I should have gone for the double. Thanks to Randy, we are leading 5-4, and they really don't like us. We would take the W, winning this one 7-5, and what a performance from Randy as he went 2 for 3 with a home run, a double, and 3 RBIs. Out of the goals that we selected at the beginning of the season, we have completed 5 of them, with the RBI goal becoming the most recent. That will officially leave us with 2 remaining, but we're on pace to complete both of them. Simming forward, we would win this series against Arizona 6-3, including a performance where Randy Trout hit a grand slam. That is one of the first home runs that I've actually seen him hit during Sim, so at least we know that it's possible. Now hopefully by the end of the month, we can get both of Randy's power stats to 99, watching this go to the foul pole, and it drifts outside. That was so close to a 2-run shot to give us the lead, and in the 3rd inning, it is still 0-0. We are facing a dynamic challenge but chase an inside pitch, which leads to a fly out. So while the runners advance, the Padres have a 2-1 lead in the 8th. It has not been a good day for Randy Trout, missing out on a home run, and now he's in danger of going hitless. So due to Trout's worst performance in a while, we would lose this game. We are trying to end the month with enough tokens to get both of our power stats up to 95, and this one's off to a very good start. Trout puts the Reds up 1-0, turning on a double, and now he steals third base. At the end of July, we are sitting at 19 home runs and 71 RBIs as here's a flyout against the Astros. While we failed to drive in another run though, we are leading 10-1, and here's an RBI single for Randy Trout. I thought it was going to be a double, but I had to go back. It feels like our offense either scores 10 runs or nothing as we're leading 11-2, and with a runner coming home, we are trying to make the relay throw in time. We dominated a game where Randy Trout had 2 RBIs, and that will bring us to the start of August where we can almost afford 2 power upgrades. For now though, we're going to stick with 1. Getting these last few attributes to 99 is going to be such a grind as Trout is coming into August with 19 dingers and 83 RBIs, along with hitting .312. All things considered, an 867 OPS at 23 years old with 40 contact is pretty good. At the start of the month, he is no longer on top for the Silver Slugger as Rafael Devers has 31 dingers. That is definitely an award that we want to win, but it might not happen this year as Rafael Devers is just too good. We are starting the month with a 45-66 record, which is in 4th place in our division, but we're going up against the 2nd place Brewers. Starting off the series, we have runners at the corners and a dynamic challenge. All we have to do to complete this is drive in a run, and fortunately, even though he hits into a double play, the runner is still able to score. In the bottom of the 4th though, we do get a run back, and Jackson Chourio singles. Can we make the relay throw? Getting in the right spot, and that is in time. We have saved so many runs this season just on relays alone, and now it's time for another challenge. And I do need to note that these matter more than ever with upgrades becoming much more expensive. Randy needs a double, but he'll do even better with a dinger. That is home run number 20 for Trout, putting him in a really good spot. We have a tie game where it looks like Trout will need to make another big time relay throw. We are approaching the pitcher's mound as the throw comes in. This one's gonna be close, but we also get him out with a perfect throw. We are still tied up in the bottom of the 7th where Randy can give us the lead. We have rallied back in this game looking to go ahead for the first time, but after fouling off a home run pitch, Trout strikes out. And unfortunately, we would go on to lose this game to Milwaukee, falling 5-3. Trout has done a nice job of avoiding the strikeouts, but those breaking balls still get him from time to time. However, with the victory, we have enough tokens to upgrade his power versus left, getting both of his stats up to 95. Now hopefully the cost to upgrade can stay at 45 for the rest of the season, because with 2 months left in the season, we are already having a hard enough time getting more tokens. Now usually I'll play just 1 game out of every series, but considering that this is a division series, we're gonna play all 3. And coming into this game, we have a boss challenge against The Miz. In order to complete it, we're gonna need a double or better. Now very fittingly, Trout is 1 extra base hit away from completing his season goal of 50, and that one drifts foul. He was so close to completing it as The Miz hits him in the cheeks. Just like we saw in the minors, this man is a magnet for getting slapped by balls, but I also feel like we should get a second chance at that challenge. That's not really fair. This game is not gone as we hoped as we're trailing by 4 runs, and Randy is now 0 for 4. We have to wait another day to complete our season goal as the only way we got on base was getting hit by a pitch. However, in the final game of the series, we are starting off with a boss challenge, this time against, I don't even know who that is. Who is that? It is Shane McClanahan. Okay. I saw a lefty that I didn't recognize, and it seems McClanahan's trying to revive his career in Milwaukee. And while it's nice to see him healthy, he would get destroyed by this Reds offense, giving up 7 runs. After starting the game with 3 strikeouts in a row, Randy Trout did get on board with an RBI single and steal second. While singles are great though, he is still looking for that final extra base hit. Completing that goal would give him 25 tokens, and while he makes good contact the other way, this one will stop him at first. He will once again not complete his goal, but now he's taking off for second, sliding in for his second steal of the day. He officially secures a 21 steal season, which is the 2nd most on his team. As a power hitter, I did not expect him to have a 2020 year, but just imagine how good he could be when we can actually start upgrading his other stats. He already has an 857 OPS and a 307 average, but I feel like the 20 home runs is a little lower than I'd like. Now he is making up for it with 85 RBIs, but I gotta start seeing some more dingers. With 95 power, I feel like there's no excuse. We are looking to complete our biggest goal of the season, but it's been tough sledding through Trout going into August. After a hot start to the year, the homers and extra base hits have slowed down, but finally he gets the last extra base hit he he needs to complete his goal. There's home run number 21 for Trout, and it's a big one. Completing that goal was so important because it allows Trout to get 25 more tokens to put into his power, and with the Reds leading 2-1 in this game, the relay throw is not in time. That would tie the game, but only briefly, as the Reds would score 3 more runs and Trout goes deep into left center for his second dinger of the game. It had been a while since his last home run, but hopefully this can get him back on a hot streak. And with 95 power, it feels like more often than not, when he does make good contact, it leaves the yard. Another RBI single put his team up 5, and now he steals second base. Randy truly did it all in an 11-4 victory over Kansas City, hitting 2 home runs and driving in 3 runs to bring his RBI total to 4th place in the National League. Additionally, he just earned 5 tokens plus the additional 25. However, now we're facing another big challenge against the best team in baseball. Earlier in the season, we somehow managed to win a series against the Dodgers, and they're trying to prove that that was just a fluke. In the top of the 6th inning, we are trailing by 1 run, but Randy has a dynamic challenge with the bases loaded. Not only is the game on the line, but he could use all the tokens he can get. Unfortunately though, he grounds into a double play. That would end the inning as the Dodgers are now up 5-0, so they're gonna win this game regardless of what Randy does as he flies out deep to the warning track. He really struggled in this first game, going hitless in the first game, which led to us getting swept. Even with the token upgrades though, we're still sitting at 40 and need 45 for 1 upgrade. Now just doing some math here, if the cost stays at 45 a token, we would need 360 tokens before the end of the year. We have no more goals left to complete, so we've got to take advantage of this series against the Rockies, starting out with a huge nuke into center field. That one went 469 feet, and it kind of looks like he's flipping off the crowd. Did you see that? Now obviously it was his index finger, but I still think that's pretty funny as we're trying to make the relay throw. It's not going to be in time. So the Rockies get a run back, and now Trout's trying to do it again, going into left center, but flying out at the track. If he had gotten just a little bit more on that ball, he would have fully taken advantage of the Coors Field effect, and now the Rockies tie the game. We are tied in the top of the 6th with Trout facing a challenge. And just like he's done all season long, we are swinging for the fences, going the other way into left field. That will carry out. Home run number 2 on the day for Randy Trout, and credit the Coors Field elevation. Even going up against Colorado, Randy needed both of those home runs as this was a 2-run win. And with his great performance, he earned 6 tokens. We just put a pretty nice dent in the 360 tokens that we need to get Randy's power up to 99, and now his 25th home run of the season will certainly help. So after watching the homers disappear for much of the season, it seems that Randy's back, pulling this foul barely. I feel like in the second half of the season, we have seen so many close calls on home runs, and this one just allowed the Athletics to rally back and take the lead, although Randy has other plans. He goes deep for the second time of the game, giving him back-to-back performances with 2 home runs. He is now very close to 30 bombs, but with the way that he's playing, I would not be surprised if that turned into 35 or even 40. Unfortunately though, it might not make a difference with the A's up by 3 runs. With a man on second though, Randy is looking to complete another challenge, and there's no way. That is his second 3-home run game of the season, and this man is absolutely on fire. That would bring Cincinnati within 1, and while they still lost the game, what a day for Randy Trout with 3 dingers and 6 RBIs. He would cash in with 8 tokens in a single game, so midway through August, he is sitting at 45 as we're getting power versus right up to 96. Now, considering that he's closing in on 100 RBIs, I would not be surprised if he catches up to Rafael Devers for the Silver Slugger. We were going back and forth with Rafael Devers for quite a while, but with 38 bombs, I feel like this is his to lose. Not to mention that going to the MVP race, he's also in second place behind only Kyle Schwarber. So with the major awards feeling out of reach, we're going to focus on our power attributes, although a fly out behind the plate is not a good start. We are only leading by 1 run to the Nationals, and Trout flies out to center as that is not going to keep his hot streak alive. After 2 straight multi-home run performances, he's in danger of going hitless, and while the Nationals take the lead, he does make a relay throw. Trout would go 0 for 4 in a huge loss for the Reds. Leading by 2 in the bottom of the 7th, he's looking for a dynamic challenge and just needs an extra base hit. He has not completed one in a while, and that streak will continue as he gets way underneath this. Unfortunately though, if he wants to earn more tokens, those are the plays that he needs to make. He went 2 for 4 but did not drive in a run, so only earns 1 token. At the end of the series though, he's sitting at 49, which is enough to get another upgrade. That is the first time that Randy's seen a boost to his overall, going up to 74. There was definitely a moment where it looked like Sal Stewart was going to catch up to us, at least in home runs, but Randy does pull away thanks to a successful stretch of games. And while Ellie De La Cruz has come close to him in OPS, Randy still holds that title as well. There are only 2 series left in the month of August, and we are starting this one out with a home run on a dynamic challenge. That is dinger number 28 for Randy as we're getting closer to the 30 bomb year. And by the way, it is important to mention that that wasn't just a regular challenge, but a boss challenge. So just by completing that, Randy just earned himself a lot of tokens, and now he adds a single to his day. Since we're on first though, why not go for the 30-30 season, stealing our 24th base of the year? Despite having 40 speed, Randy has been low-key good on the base paths as they cannot pick him off. It almost always feels like he gets back on time as he is taking off for third. That one's in the dirt, allowing us to get in there. It is 6-1 Cincinnati as Randy's magnet body drives in another run. With the bases loaded, it would have been nice to hit a grand slam, but we'll take whatever we can get. Randy adds another 2 RBIs and 4 tokens to his season, and thankfully at the start of September, the monthly goals have updated, so Randy has something to work for to hopefully earn some more tokens. Completing these goals could earn him anywhere from 10 to 15 tokens, making this a great way to try to get the remaining power upgrades. These goals are the last chance to get our power upgrades up to 99 before the end of the season, and we're starting the month of September in a rivalry game against the Cardinals. We're in the lead, but Trout starts the game 0 for 2 and make that 0 for 3. He's been making contact, but just not finding the green as here is a dynamic challenge. It has been tough sledding for Randy, who honestly needs as many good plays as he can get, and that's another fly out. So he now has 4 of those on the game and finally draws a walk. Despite going hitless in this game though, he is taking off for second base and at least ends things off with his 26th steal. After winning that game 3-1, we're a little more firmly in 4th place as the Cardinals are 3 games beneath us. However, now we have another division series, this time against the Cubs, that we are starting out with a boss challenge. And unfortunately for our entire division, the Cubs went out and signed Tarek Skubal. We did not have a good first attempt against him, but now have another challenge, but in order to complete it, we need a double, which is gonna be easier said than done. Despite failing the challenge though, we're on first with a chance to steal our 30th bag of the season, which Randy successfully does. All these stolen bases are great, but in order to complete these goals, we need 20 RBIs this month, so we're gonna have to get back to driving in some runs as Chicago does exactly that, walking this game off. It is always painful to go down to a division rival, but maybe we can do some more damage against them now that we're not going up against the best lefty in baseball. Skubal is the Cy Young frontrunner for a very good reason, but we're trailing by 4 runs. Trout is getting one of his first attempts at an RBI in a while, but unfortunately, he pops up into the infield. It really feels like he's starting to run out of juice as he went 1 for 4 with a single, and with 19 games left in the season to reach the rest of his goals, there's a great chance he'll be leaving a lot of tokens on the table. We are trying to end our first full season in Cincinnati with a bang, going up against the Cardinals and starting this series with a double. It is 0-0 and we're continuing to swing for the fences, although we're not going to be able to get RBIs with nobody on base. That has been an issue with the offense for most of the season as Randy had 2 hits in this game but did not drive in a run. Unfortunately, anything with the bases empty is just not worth it, as in our next game we have another dynamic challenge for Randy to hit for a double, which he's able to do, but it's not going to really matter. In the bottom of the 8th, we are trailing by 5 runs as he has another challenge and a man on second. Even though we're losing, we really want to complete this as Randy drives this no-doubter deep into right field, turning on that pitch for a 2-run shot. He finally gets a runner on base, and he's not going to waste that big-time opportunity. This offense is averaging 6.7 runs a game as Randy sends a nuke into the stands. And he's not going to stop there, as with the game tied in the bottom of the 9th, he can drive in the winning run. The Reds have rallied back with 5 unanswered, and with Marte stealing third, the winning run is in position. It is not going to take much to drive him in as there's a grounder, he doesn't go, and Trout unfortunately blows it. Despite getting his team back in this game, he misses out on the walk-off chance as now the Cardinals take the lead. All we can do now is sim to the end where we take a 9-6 loss, and I feel like that's kinda Randy's fault. I know he had a home run and a double, but honestly, we could have really used that walk-off single. We are in danger of falling back into last place in our division, and in the top of the 2nd inning, they're trying to score a run, but Randy will make the relay throw, keeping Cincinnati in the lead. Now in the bottom of the 3rd though, it is 2-2. After a single from Randy though, the Reds would take the lead right back, and we are still hanging on to a 2-run lead. Trout is being faced with a challenge, and with 2 guys on, he draws a walk instead. They did not feel comfortable giving him anything that he could hit, and while he does miss out on the RBI chance, he did go 2 for 4 with 2 singles. We have wasted so many chances for RBIs, but here's a challenge. We are going up against Shota Imanaga Imanaga and the Cubs as Trout drives this the other way, carrying it all the way back to the wall where it is gone. That officially gives him his 30th bomb of the year, and swinging for the fences finally wins us a challenge as we're getting another one right after. With runners on first and second, all we have to do is drive one of them in, and unfortunately that's the worst possible thing Trout could have done. He has gone 0 for 3 ever since that dinger. 2 on in the bottom of the ninth, he gets hit right in the cheek, and we're not going to get a chance to score a run. The game has taken another challenge away from us, but fortunately we do win the game. I really just wish Trout had gotten the chance for the walk-off. With 14 games remaining in the season, we are not on pace for a lot of these monthly goals, and that's the secret to getting Trout the rest of the tokens that he needs. In our next game against Chicago though, we have another boss challenge, and it's not Imanaga, it's not Scooball, it's Justin Steele. They've got to have one of the best trios of lefties I've ever seen. We are tied at 0 apiece, and with a runner on first base, Trout hits into a double play once again. That is the second time of the series that he's grounded into a double play, and while he does hit a double here, no one's on base to benefit. We are trailing 5 to 3 as a result, although Trout finally gets his RBI. He finally secures another RBI, and now going up against Cade Horton, he drives this the other way. Does it have the distance? It will for another dinger. And thankfully, someone was actually on base for that one. Now I am very thankful that Cade left that over the middle because we have 71 tokens now, but we need 270 for the rest of the year to get the rest of our upgrades. Now fortunately, due to having 71 tokens already, that means we just need 199, and even if we complete some of these goals, we should be able to get there. Most notably, we'd also get an award for winning a Silver Slugger and finishing in the lead or top 3 in RBIs. While we know that Trout is currently leading the team in RBIs, we don't know about the entire league, and I'd be interested to see where he ends up, currently number 3. And that is huge because if the season ended right now, he would be getting an additional 20 tokens. However, considering that Rafael Devers has 12 more dingers than him and a better batting average, I think we've already lost the Silver Slugger. I guess we're saving all the division series for last as we're going up against Milwaukee, who's currently in first place. And I would love to start driving in some runs, but we're just not getting anybody on base. That certainly makes this job difficult, but facing a challenge, we drive this into left field, but I just don't think it has enough juice. Unfortunately, we are getting shut out 5 to 0, and with an 11-game hit streak on the line, Trout does make great contact into right field. Churio going back, that is unbelievable. That man just Soulja Boy'd it as he Superman that hoe, making an incredible catch. That is one of the worst ways to end our hit streak, as we also take the L, and there's only a week and a half left in the season as we ground to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., but do score Ellie De La Cruz. That will count as an RBI, and I'm very thankful that it does, because we need to average 1 a game for the rest of the year. By doing that, we would be completing our goal, and Randy gets robbed every time he steps up to the plate. Every time he steps up to the plate, it feels like every single CPU defensive rating goes to 120, but even when he does do something good, there's not usually enough runners on base for him to drive them home. That is making it very difficult to drive in runs as we have a dynamic challenge with nobody on. The best thing we can do is swing for the fences, but they walk us in 4 pitches. There have been so many times where we've had a dynamic challenge, but the CPU has either walked us or hit us with a pitch. It is going to take a miracle to reach all of our season goals and get the amount of tokens that we need to upgrade our stats to 99, as we almost went deep. And with so many of our goals focused around RBIs, we could have really used that extra power to send it over the wall. As we've seen throughout the season, we either get no runners on base or a runner on like first, but now in the 7th, we've got 2 guys on base, and that's another problem as they just keep hitting me every time I can score a run. It is unreal how many times that has happened, as now we go the other way, and of course they make the diving catch. Every defender is Superman. Once again, no RBIs for Randy Trout, and again, no runners on base to drive in either. We have been one of the most unlucky players down the stretch as we start this game 3 for 3, but Randy doubles with nobody on once again. He might fall out of the top 3 in RBIs just because his team sucks, and now in the top of the 1st with 2 runners on, thank you, that is finally a dinger, and make it a 3-run shot. So at least he's completed one of his goals this month with 60 total bases in September, which will earn him 15 tokens. We're running out of time to complete our challenges, but fortunately, Randy's gonna turn on one to start his final series of the year. That will drive in 2 runs, but also get him a dinger away from his goal. Immediately after that, He's facing a dynamic challenge, and we're trying to end this right here. Now, the only problem here is Justin Lawrence's delivery gives me nightmares, so we're not able to complete the challenge, at least for now. With a runner on first in the bottom of the ninth, we are looking to end this game as Trout gaps that one, and Elly De La Cruz has the speed to be the walk-off run. That is a game-winning run for Randy Trout as he secures another walk-off, and that will certainly help him with the tokens. From that victory, he earned 6 tokens, getting himself up to 154. Now, I know that doesn't sound close to what we need, but we are 2 RBIs and 1 home run away from getting a whole lot more, along with completing a goal for slugging percentage and our season OPS. But we're going up against Paul Skeens, needing a very big game. Now, for some reason, our team had no problem scoring runs against him as it's 5-1, but Randy is 0 for 2. He strands a runner on base, but now going up against the bullpen, he has a chance to cook, gapping a double for another RBI. He is now just 1 dinger and 1 RBI away as that drops in right field, scoring the runner from second base. We are starting our final game of the season with a boss challenge against Bubba Chandler. Completing this would certainly help, but just like we've seen all year, we get hit by a pitch. So we lose another challenge despite it not even being our fault, and we're not getting another chance for redemption. Now, we do hit a double, but with nobody on, we're still down by 1 run. This could be our final at-bat of the season as we foul off a fastball, and with a full count, here comes the inside fastball, we can't get over to it, and that's a strikeout. Simming forward though, we're getting another chance to win this game. In the bottom of the ninth, with a runner on second, we make great contact into right field, digging out that pitch to the wall, where unfortunately it bounces off. While we tied and walked off the game, we ultimately fall short of our home run goal, finishing off the year on a hot streak, but unfortunately will not get to 99 power just yet. That'll have to wait for season number 3, although I do want to go over Randy's stats because he was phenomenal. 37 home runs, 122 RBIs, and a 320 batting average were all much better than expected for a player who has 96 power and pretty much nothing else. He also finished with a 915 OPS to go along with a WAR of 5.7. That was second on the team, only behind Elly De La Cruz, who does get a bit of a bonus for being a shortstop. Nonetheless, it was a very good year for Randy Trout, who came in 3rd place in RBIs, and sorting by home runs, he was also not too far down that list, although I think I'm hoping for more next year. Now looking at the awards though, he finished in 3rd place for the MVP, only behind Rafael Devers. Now unfortunately, because Rafael Devers finished in front of him, I do believe that we're gonna lose the Silver Slugger, and honestly that's fine. It was a fantastic year for Randy, coming in 2nd for the batting title, and for the moment of truth, going to the Silver Slugger, he does manage to win it. Despite finishing with 9 home runs less than Rafael Devers, it looks like the difference in average and RBIs made up for it. Now, unfortunately, that is not going to give us any additional tokens, so we are stuck at 99 and 97 power. Even despite our best efforts, we were significantly short, although Randy does end the year at 75 overall. Now, winning a Silver Slugger did not affect any of our tokens, but it does increase our Hall of Fame trajectory, which is now looking a little bit more elevated. Now, I'm not exactly sure how this works yet, but I'm sure that I'll figure it out with a few more great seasons from Randy. And along with the power upgrades, I'm especially looking forward to getting into next year to use one of our brand new diamond bats. We are giving Randy the Grasshopper along with a brand new gold glove. While we didn't quite get his power to 99 in this video, that upgrade will certainly come next season and likely early on. That being said, I'm excited to get that done and over with so we can focus on the rest of his stats and hopefully get Randy into the Hall of Fame. If you made it this far in the video and you want to see more Randy Trout career mode, please drop a like to show me that you're interested, and also please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I am really enjoying these Road to the Show videos, and if you're enjoying my content as a whole, you can click right here to watch more.